From the Bob Mills Weather Center, the Oklahoma weather expert, Travis Meyer.
That's getting closer and closer for Miss Megan. We're talking, though, also something getting closer to Florida. Happens to be Hurricane Ian. And Ian is right now just near Cuba at this time, or Ian, I should say. We're keeping an eye on it. There we go. I'll say it right. Anyway, we're looking at the hurricane continuing to strengthen. It was 100-mile-per-hour winds at about 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock, and now it's moved on up to 105. And the problem is it's going to get stronger. And the reason we're talking about this is if you have friends or if you were planning on traveling to Florida, that is a really bad idea because for the course of this week and into probably the weekend, there's going to be a lot of struggles going on in Florida. So tomorrow morning, it will be pretty much on the northwest side of Cuba. And so it strengthens, which normally it won't do. But we have so much warm water. And it's been above normal temperatures in the Gulf of Mexico and some of the parts of the Atlantic and the Caribbean all summer long just because of what's going on. And so this is going to continue to strengthen when it's west of Key West. We'll be at a strength of Category 4, which is 140-mile-per-hour winds. Unfortunately, this stays strong until it starts to interact with the land. It is going to be, right now, the newest model is pushing it just a little bit back east into Florida sooner. So that could be around Tampa or south of Tampa. Before, it was supposed to go a little bit further west-northwest of Tampa. But these are strong winds. Once it starts interacting, though, with the land, the winds will come down a little bit. So hopefully by landfall, it's going to be a lot lower, but it's still going to be massive. That's the problem. And there's going to be massive amounts of rain because, again, these are 12-hour segments right in here. And that's not moving very far, very fast. And that is one of the worst things that you can have for massive flooding and, of course, a storm surge, as we call it, because you have such strong winds coming up and they just keeps creating a swell. And that ocean rises, and we're thinking it could be going up 10 feet or more. Eventually, it'll go just west of Orlando and then head on up to Jacksonville as a depression and go further north up to the northeast. So, big deal for much of Florida, the way it's looking tonight. Bad situation for the folks there, so that's not anything good. So, if you do have any plans, just be aware of that. A lot of these areas, again, 6 to 9 feet. And with some of the new data, we might even see that increase a little bit, especially in the bays right around Tampa. We're talking 12 to 15 feet, which in Tampa itself, the highest point in Tampa is 48 feet above sea level. So there's going to be a lot of flooding going on there. As far as we're concerned, once that system moves off, we were kind of hoping we'd get the tropical moisture come up here. Don't need that, which we knew was probably going to happen. Our biggest problem right now is the fact that it wants to stay warm and it doesn't want to rain. And there is really nothing impressive going to happen. We're looking at the extended forecast taking us all the way into basically next week for the Tulsa State Fair, and there just is very few sprinkles, and that's about it with a passing storm system. It'll get a little cooler, and we're having cool mornings. That's good, but there's no rain for the next 10 days. There is nothing, and we are pretty much desperate. And I don't want to say we're getting really desperate, but it's getting close to that in Oklahoma. We mentioned the burn bans. Remember, don't burn. There is a fine associated with that for the county showed, and that includes Tulsa County Creek, extending back to the south and east, much of southeast Oklahoma under burn bans at this point. Our temperature is cool. That's a great thing. If you live in town, you're probably not even kind of worried about it. Say, I can water the lawn, but you can't water a pasture with a bunch of cows around. But anyway, tomorrow we're talking about 40s to low 50s to start us off. Another chilly start in the morning. The afternoon, we'll see temperatures into the 80s, maybe near 90 just west of Tulsa. Once again, low 50s on Wednesday morning and Wednesday afternoon in the 80s. Kickoff for the Tulsa State Fair should be pleasant, upper 70s to low 80s in the afternoon. A little deceiving because you can still get a pretty good sized sunburn going on. All right, 54 in the morning, and it is cool. You can say jacket weather, then that sun's up, and then it's back to warm weather. By noontime, we're already at 80, and into the upper 80s in the afternoon. Might even hit a 90 downtown someplace. Yeah, it's really warm. It's hot if you're in the sun because the air is so dry. It allows for really cool nights, which is great, and then really warm afternoons. We don't really get to see anything super cool until maybe next Tuesday when that storm system comes in, and that's just a sprinkle or two and nothing else.